Hi everyone, Mr. Dowling here. Today we're going to be talking about the ellipse. So I'm going to be discussing how to draw an ellipse using the Trammel method. First we need to draw our axis, so our major axis and our minor axis. For this, the major axis is 160 and the minor axis from top to bottom is 80. So I have drawn that, as you can see. So our major axis and our minor axis. I've used the Trammel. This is about 30 millimeters wide, top and bottom. Make sure it's square. That's an important consideration, that it's square. To use our Trammel, we need to measure from the top of the minor to the center. Do that on both sides. And draw a line connecting them. Next, we're going to label them P and A. We're going to put our point P on one end of the major axis. The other end, we'll just mark off the center. Connect them together, making sure that it's square. And we're going to call this point B. So to use a Trammel creating an ellipse, we need to put point A on our major axis and point B on the minor axis. So I'm going to put them both here. Top of point B on the minor, top of point A on the major. Drop a point at point P. Then move it up a small bit. B on the minor, A on the major, drop a point. Same again, B, A, drop a point. 3 points should be enough. If you want to do a few more, you can. Just to make your curve easier to follow, I'll just do one more, B and A, and drop another point. We're going to carefully and smoothly connect the points all together. There's a quarter of our curve. We're going to do the same here. B on the minor axis, A on the major axis, drop a point. Once again, B on the minor, A on the major, drop a point. For this one, I'm just going to use 3 points. B on the minor, A on the major, drop a point. Again, connect them smoothly around. Like I just did. If you think you're making a mistake, just erase it, go over it again. So there's half of it done. We're going to flip the Trammel around upside down and repeat the same steps. So A on the major, B on the minor, point. B on the minor, A on the major, point. Same again. B on the minor, A on the major, drop a point. I'm going to do one more because there's quite a large gap here. B on the minor, A on the major, and we'll put in a point. Again, connect them nice and smoothly. There's 3/4 of our ellipse drawn. We'll do this once more for our last quarter. A on the major, B on the minor, drop a point. A on the major, B on the minor, point. One more. A on the major, B on the minor, drop a point. Going to connect these once again. That's your ellipse drawn. So just to go over it again, to create your Trammel, put P, to make point P, point on the top of the minor axis and A in the center, then put point P on the vertex of the major axis, and point B is going to be your center. Square it off each of the lines, label them P, A, and B. And finally, we're going to find our focal points. Like we discussed, to find a focal point, remember half of the major from the minor. Scribe an arc on both sides. Doesn't matter if you do this top or bottom, it's going to be the same. Half the major from the minor, going to give us the same point. So doesn't matter if you do it top or bottom, it's going to give you the same answer. So mark these off. F1 for focal point 1, F2 for focal point 2. I want you to label the other points. So 2 outside points, vertex, vertex. We're going to label this line major, major, flip, minor, minor. That's our ellipse finished.